Hey everyone, welcome to the Learning Ladder. I had a request to do a flip through of Harcourt trophies. This is the grade 4 version. I've got the text, the practice book and the language handbook. I think there is a second book that you can get which is spelling, but I don't have that one. We do a spelling curriculum separately. So basically this is your everything, your reader. So you've got different themes throughout. So in this particular one we've got realistic fiction for the story of the gardener, and it covers language science as our second. We've got realistic fiction language arts for Donovan's word jar, another one which is social studies, biography, historical fiction. These are all the picture books down here. Then in theme 2 we've got plays, folktales, non-fiction, realistic fiction, poems, non-fiction, and this is why I love this because it gives you so much variety. Again, we've got some more historical fiction, fantasy, informational narratives, and a poem. So we've got The Crickets in Times Square, Sarah Plain and Tall, Stealing Home, Two Lands, One Heart, and Look to the North. I'm excited about that one. A Wolf Pup Diary. My daughter will love that one. This is our theme 4, which is creative minds. So we've got expository non-fiction, mystery art, Hispanic folktale, Indian folktale. There's the books down there. Theme 5 is community ties. So we've got autobiography, informational narrative. New Lands is theme 6. And there's the books down here. Okay. And then it goes straight into your first story. So there's always a vocabulary power section where it tells you some vocabulary information to help them while they're reading this story, and it puts it in context as well, so it's not just this, your list of vocabulary, it's actually in context as well. And then there's always a little connection. So for this one, it's who is someone that you adore, write a paragraph telling about your relationship with that person. You can choose to do that or not, it's entirely up to you. If you're doing it as a curriculum, then yes, you probably would do it. We just read this before we start our story. So this is the realistic fiction, and it tells you what realistic fiction is and then what to look out for when you're reading. And then this is the story, so it's all in a letter form in this one. I love all the illustrations and everything else. Okay, and then we've got a think and respond section, so I always ask my daughter after she's read. Then we've got meet the author, so it tells you all about the different authors and the illustrator. Then we've got our making connections section. So this is, you have one of these after every sort of story, but it focuses on a different thing. If you check in the contents, it showed you what the extra thing was. So for in this case, we are comparing text. We've got our right to explain. It's based on the story. We've got a social studies connection. So, the gardener takes place in the Great Depression, do some research about that, and then we've got some research growing conditions. And then our science connection is to do some research on something that's growing. So that is very relevant to the story. Then we've got a narrative elements, so we're talking about character, setting and plot. Then there's a test prep section, if you were wanting to do testing, and then it moves on to the next story. So I'll show you 2 more. So this is a Donovan's word jar. So we've got our vocabulary power section, and there's also a question of the day about this reporter, which is funny. So we've got a vocabulary writing connection down here. So sometimes it's necessary to compromise. Write a paragraph about a time that you have compromised. So it's interesting. So realistic fiction again tells us what to look for, and this is the story Donovan's word jar. So they'll read the story. Okay, we've got our think and respond section, meet the author and illustrator again. And then this one's got an extra one. This has got a poem as well. Okay, then we go to our connections. So we're comparing text. We've got an explain an idea using a little spider. Creating a postcard for a social studies connection. So there was some geography in the story. Make a line graph. So this is a math connection. And we've got prefixes, suffixes, and roots. So again, we can practice those language arts skills and test prep. Okay, and then the last one I'm going to show you is a fiction. Let's find a different one. Hang on. Okay, so I've gone to the non-fiction. So this is the creative mind section. So we've got our vocabulary here. Our writing connection is read about inventions that help with disabilities. To run and ski. Think of something. Sorry, let me say that again. You read about inventions that help people with disabilities to run and ski. Think of something you would like to invent and write a description of it. I was trying to read through the camera, which is never a good thing. Okay, expository non-fiction, what to look for, and what it is. Okay, now this is the kids invention book. So it's talking about all different ways that they have made inventions to help people. And then you can do it, steps to creating an invention. You get to do one. Think and respond. This is meet the author. Okay, then we're comparing our text, write a personal narrative, design a plaque, create an invitation, so the science connection. Talking about main ideas and details. So main idea and supporting details and test prep. So that's how it works. We tend to use it in terms of we read the vocabulary page, we read the story, I ask her the think and respond questions, and then if there's something in one of the activities and making connections, we'll do it. It just depends whether or not it tallies cross-curricular with something else we're doing, or if I think it's a really cool idea, or be really useful, or be really fun, she'd enjoy it. But that's because we're not using it as our main language arts. If we were using it as our main language arts, then I definitely would do more of the activities. Okay, the practice book goes along with the chapters. So as you can see, there's the gardener, Sarah playing tall, the crickets in Times Square. So it's different for each time. So for the gardener one, it's a vocabulary fill-in, create word pairs, and then you may pair each word with a synonym or an antonym. And then this one is read the story and circle the answer. Then for homework, this is the activity, so reading the letter and answering the question. Oops. And then there is some sentences to rewrite. And then in this one, it's a spelling as well. So you've got spelling words in cursive, so fold them and write them on the line. Donovan's word jar is this one. So that's what the practice book looks like. Occasionally, as I said, we'll pull the pages out. It just depends. If I was using it as a curriculum, we would do it as you know, as in more detail. But because it's something that I add on, then I just pull out pages that I really like or I think will be helpful to her, or it's a skill we're practicing on. Then at the back as well, you have some little comprehension activities too. I'll just get the page. For your end of selection tests. They're all here at the back if you want to test. So that's what the practice book looks like. So this is the language handbook, and I find it's an entity on its own, to be honest. So basically you've got all your writer's craft, handwriting, writing for writing models. So we've got descriptive paragraphs, essays, persuasive paragraphs, book review, television or movie review, friendly letter, business letter. And then we've got some grammar usage, so sentence parts, nouns, prepositions, verbs, adjectives, and so on. It doesn't really relate to any of the stories or anything that you've read in the book. It's just more of this is how you do it. That's my opinion of it anyway. So, organisation. Pre-write, draft, revise, publish and reflect. Gives you some examples of how to do it. How to develop your personal voice. Try this. So that's the sort of the way this one is laid out. And then you've got your models here. So story, folk tale, character sketch, descriptive paragraph. You've got all your different models here. And there's an article about manatees. So that's how this one works in terms of the writing section. And then you've got your grammar section at the back. So for example, adjectives and articles, skill reminder, read each sentence, write the adjective. So that's how the grammar works. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you. So I find this is something on its own. It doesn't relate to any of the stories necessarily. It's more skill-based. So that's look inside Harcourt Trivia. So if you've got any questions, let me know. We use it as an add-on, but you definitely could use it as a curriculum, as your language arts curriculum. I love it for the fact that there's so many different stories in here, that's different genres and everything else. It's all beautifully coloured, illustrated. She really likes it. So that's Harcourt Trivia. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you soon.